Friends, so through this channel, I would like to put in videos for class 10th maths as well, a new endeavor of mine which I would like to venture into. And subsequently, we have batches for 10th maths as well. So today I am with a very interesting topic for class 10 in particular and CAT and every MBA entrance in general, and that topic is quadratic equations. So I would like to dedicate this video to one of the class 10th aspirants who stays in my society, and when I was doing this research, which topic should I put in, and I did this research and I asked her and her friends, and she came up with the idea of quadratic equations. So here I am, friends, new friends of class 10th in particular. First video, quadratic equations. Fine, so the word quadratic comes from a Latin word quadratus, which means square. So a general equation is, let's say, x square plus 8x plus 15 is equal to 0. This is a very general quadratic equation, 2-degree equation. The degree is 2 here. So a thumb rule of algebra says that whatever be the degree, you will always have that many solutions. So since it is a quadratic 2-degree, you will have 2 solutions, and we call the solutions as roots of the equation. So there are 2 roots of the equation, or 2 solutions of the equation, or 2 values of x which will satisfy this equation. We will soon find out how and what are those values. So how to solve it? So one method of doing this solving is called as splitting the middle term method, factorization method. You try to split 8 as 2 numbers, the sum of them should be 8 and the product of them should be 15. 15 into this 1, the coefficient of x square is 1. So this 1 into 15 is 15. So think of 2 numbers whose product is 15 and whose sum is 8. That is what the funda is, splitting the middle term method. So I can write it as x square plus 5x plus 3x plus 15 is equal to 0. So the numbers are 5 and 3. 5 plus 3 will become 8. I have split it like this so that 5 into 3 is 15. Now in this take x common. So it becomes x plus 5. In these two take 3 common. So it becomes x plus 5 is equal to 0. So take x plus 5 common in these two brackets. You get x plus 5 into x plus 3 is equal to 0. So it is like a into b is 0 implies either a is 0 or b is 0. So either x is equal to minus 5 or x is equal to minus 3. So these are the solutions of x. These are the roots of x. So please understand, this is one method. You can always split the middle term in factors so that the sum is the middle term and the product is whatever is written coefficient of x square into the constant. I hope I have made you understood this method. This is one method. Fine. Now the same question, the same answer, x is equal to minus 5 and x equal to minus 3 can be found out by 2 more methods. The second method is called as completing the square method. So what you do is, you try to write this as a perfect square. So we can write it as x plus 4 whole square. Please understand. Just understand these 2 terms. Don't worry about the constant part. We will take care of that. So x plus 4 whole square, if you open it, it comes a plus b square, a square which is x square which is here, plus 2ab, 2 into x into 4 which is 8x. So that's what our idea was. We wanted to take care of these 2. Constant we will take care later. So plus 4 square is 16, but we want 15. So we will put here minus 1 is equal to 0. Please understand. X plus 4 whole square is x square plus 8x plus 16. But we want plus 15 here. So it becomes x plus 4 whole square is equal to 1. So if you take square root both sides, it becomes x plus 4 is equal to plus minus 1, taking root on both sides. So therefore there are 2 values. One is x is equal to, when we take plus 1, it becomes plus 1 minus 4, so that is minus 3, and when it is minus 1 minus 1 minus 4 becomes minus 5. So again we have got the two roots, the two same values, minus 3 and minus 5. So this is another method of solving quadratic equation, which is completing the square method. Okay, the third method, which is the most important method and very applicable, because it is not every time possible to split the middle terms. You know, the numbers might be such that we are not able to make it square also, and there might be square root involved or whatever. So one formula method, you know, this is called as formula method. This is, if you search on net and books and everything, it is called as Sridhar Acharya formula method. Okay, what is it? He says that any equation is of the form ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0, where a is the coefficient of the square term, b is the coefficient of the linear x term, and c is the constant term. So the answer for this, or the value of x which will satisfy, will be directly given by x is equal to minus b, the coefficient of x, plus and minus. There are two values. The roots are 2 and they are denoted by alpha and beta. So alpha is minus b plus and beta is minus b minus. So what is it? Plus minus square root of b square minus 4ac upon 2a. So please remember and mug up this formula, very important formula. Ax square plus bx plus c 0, x is equal to minus b plus root of b square minus 4ac by 2a, x is equal to minus b minus root of b square minus 4ac, b square minus 4ac by 2a. One root and other root. One root is called as alpha, the other root is called as beta. You will always have two roots. Now this term, please understand, it is denoted by a letter called d. We denote it by a letter called capital D, which is called as discriminant of the equation. So not all quadratic equations are solvable. You know, you will not, it's not every time that you will have real roots. The roots can be imaginary numbers as well. If, remember real numbers, if there is square root of negative number, root of minus 1, root of minus 2, it is not defined, they are all imaginary numbers. So if our discriminant is greater than 0, or you can say greater equal to 0, then only we will have real roots. The roots are real numbers. In fact, if our discriminant is exactly equal to 0, we will have real roots as well as equal roots. Both roots are equal. For example, the equation is x minus 2 whole square is equal to 0. If you open it, you get x is equal to 2, only one value. But you always say there are two values, 2 comma 2. The roots are equal. Because it's a quadratic equation, the degree is 2, and therefore you will have two roots satisfying it. So the condition for equal roots is our discriminant should be exactly equal to 0. If our discriminant is greater than 0, you will have real roots and unequal roots. If the discriminant is less than 0, the roots are imaginary numbers. Please understand. You will not have real because this is negative. So both roots are imaginary. And here I would like to tell you one very important thing which will be beneficial for CAT aspirants as well. If one root of the quadratic equation is imaginary, the other root will also be imaginary. It can never happen that there is one imaginary root and one real root. Of course, we have taken a fair assumption that A, B, C and are real numbers. We have taken that assumption. The coefficients are real. So if one root of the quadratic equation is imaginary, the other will also be imaginary, and it will be a conjugate pair. What is conjugate pair? If one root is 2 plus 3i, I stands for imaginary, iota. If one root is 2 plus 3i, the other root will also be imaginary and it will be 2 minus 3i. Please understand, it is just plus minus change. So this is called as conjugate pair of roots. So if d is less than 0, the roots are imaginary. If d is greater than equal to 0, real roots, greater than 0, real and unequal, equal to 0, real and equal. Okay friends. One more thing I would like to tell about D. If D is a perfect square, if D comes out as perfect square, it is greater than 0. Of course the roots are real. But if D is a perfect square, we have that extra information. Then what can we infer about roots? The roots will be rational numbers. The roots are rational as well. They are real, they are rational as well. They can be expressed in the form of P upon Q. Because you can understand it very simply. Something in this square root is a perfect square. So what's going to happen? The root sign will vanish. So something will come out in terms of fraction. Anything which is P by Q is rational number. Okay, fine. So this is one story. So we have learned how to solve quadratic equations, how to get the solution, how to solve for x. We have learned that. There are 3 methods we have learned. Now let's talk more about the discriminant and the roots as in alpha and beta. So what is the formula for sum of roots? Alpha plus beta. It is equal to what? It is given by minus b by a. Sum of roots is always given by minus the coefficient of x upon the coefficient of x square. And what is the formula for product of the roots? Product of the roots is given as alpha beta, which is equal to c upon a. The constant term upon the coefficient of x square. Product of root is c by a. So there might be direct questions saying that a quadratic equation is equal to x square minus 5x plus 6 equal to 0. Find the sum of roots of this equation or find the product of the roots of the equation. So you need not calculate roots and do addition multiplication. You can directly apply minus b by and c by a. Since you know the equation, you know ABC very simply. What question might come is application of that. For example, x square minus 8x plus 15 is equal to 0. Let's say this is the equation. The question will be find the value of 1 by alpha plus 1 by beta of this equation. This is the question. Find the value of 1 by alpha plus 1 by beta. So one way of doing is find the roots of the equation by whatever method we learned. We have got alpha, we have got beta. And then you do 1 by alpha and 1 by beta and get the answer. That is one method, of course. But you can do one more method. What is that? You simplify it. Take LCM, it becomes alpha beta and the numerator comes alpha plus beta. So in other words, we are supposed to find alpha plus beta upon alpha beta. Now I know alpha plus beta is what? Minus b by a. And alpha beta is what? C by a. So in other words, if you do some kind of calculation, it is nothing but minus b by c, which is my answer. So I immediately know minus b is minus 8. So basically it becomes 8 upon, and c I know is 15. And that's all. I have directly come to the answer without actually knowing alpha and without actually knowing beta. I have directly come to know what I wanted to know. So there are some questions which are on type this. Find alpha square plus beta square. So again you try to convert it in terms of alpha plus beta and alpha beta. So I can write it as alpha plus beta whole square minus 2 alpha beta. I know alpha plus beta, I know alpha beta, and I can find alpha square plus beta square by alpha. Okay, I think I have made myself clear in this. Then there is a formula which says find the equation whose sum of roots is so and so, S let's say, and product of roots is P, let's say. Inverse question, we are given sum of roots and we are given product of roots. And now the question is asking find the equation. So please understand the direct formula, x square minus sum x plus product is equal to 0. This is the direct formula for getting the equation whose sum of roots is known and product is known. So I was just going through the 10th class papers. In one of the 10th class directly there was a question. Find the equation whose sum of roots is 10 and the product of roots is 21. Direct question. And then of course you can do x square minus 10x plus 21 is equal to 0 is the answer. So you must understand these formulas, you must understand the basics, how to get over there and try to apply it. Okay, let's take one more question. The question is x square minus 8x plus k is equal to 0. This is given. The question says find k. Given that k is a real number, find k so that one of the roots alpha is given as 4 plus root 3. This is given. Other root we don't know. Only one root is given to us, alpha, which is 4 plus root 3. We are given that k is a real number as well as rational number. We are also given this data. K is a real number as well as rational number. We are given this data. Question is find k. Now how to go about it? I'll tell you. Very important funda. If we are given that the coefficient A, coefficient B and coefficient K, the constant ABC, if they are all rational numbers, then the rule that we learned for imaginary numbers is also valid for rational numbers. As in, if you recall, if one root of the quadratic equation is imaginary, the other will also be imaginary. We learned that. And it will be a conjugate pair. If one root is 3 plus 4i, the other will be 3 minus 4i. My dear friends, this rule is valid for root as well, because we are given that the coefficients are real and rational. So if one root alpha is 4 plus root 3, no points for guessing it. The other root data is 4 minus root 3. Please understand. So since we know the alpha and beta, we know these roots, and therefore we can find out what is alpha beta. And what is alpha beta? Alpha beta is k upon 1 actually, because c by a. So the moment we find alpha beta, we get k, because k by 1 is k. And how to get alpha beta? It is nothing but 4 plus root 3 into 4 minus root 3. So how to solve it? This is a plus b into a minus b, which is very basic algebra. What is a plus b into a minus b? A square minus b square. So this is 4 square 16 minus b square is 3, and therefore the answer is 13. So you can practice this out. I think I have made myself pretty clear in terms of the entire basics and the entire theory as far as quadratic equations is concerned. Please work out, and please feel free, since your board exams are approaching. My email ID is of course there in the video channel in the about column. Please feel free to, if you have any doubts, any queries, I'll be very happy to answer them. Thank you, friends.